For most of my life up to this point, I believe that attachment and love were the very same thing. As a matter of fact, when I felt bonded or attached to somebody, I would see that as an indicator of my love for them, right? If I found somebody who I just could not resist in that moment in time, there was just something about them. What was really taking place was not necessarily love, but instead my attachment. And that attachment was rooted in familiarity. It was rooted in comfort. I saw in that person what I saw in my mother. I saw in that person what I saw in my father, or their own relationship dynamic. I saw in them that emotional coldness, that emotional distance, that fear of vulnerability, and I latched onto it because I was used to it. That was something I demonstrated within my own life. And of course, in hindsight, I can see clearly that, of course, that's not love. Like, love is open, love is vulnerable, love is completely accepting, right? It is not cold, disassociative, unattached. It's not distant. It's not looking to separate itself. True love, true genuine love is always desiring the highest good for another as well as yourself. And so when I was in this cycle of these relationships that seemed to only resemble what I had seen growing up, I finally came to a point where I was willing to accept that this was not love. It couldn't be love because it was always work. It was always me having to do so much in order for me to get the very least. And this isn't me calling the people out that I've been in a relationship with. As a matter of fact, I think this should be freedom for them. This is freeing them from that responsibility of being anything for me, because it was never their job. It was never their job to fix those parts of me or to be anything for me. It was always my work to do the work. And so I've realized this for those that I now, see in my life experience, those I get to speak to, I get to consult, coach, I befriend, is that there is this deep-rooted belief that love is the emotionality, right? Like, it's the feeling that you experience, that is love. When in reality, love creates the feelings, but the feelings are not love itself. Like, you could experience a sensation of infatuation that has no love backing. Like, it could just be complete lust, right? And it is what it is. If that's what it is, then, at least be honest about it. But that's not love. That's not definitively love, where you might feel so attached to this person. That might be a trauma bond. That might not be love, but you might view it as love because, again, that's all you've ever known. All you've ever known is, when I feel connected to somebody, surely this must be love. When I get the attention of somebody, even if it's negative attention, you might view that as love. And so this has been easily one of the most important lessons that I have integrated into my life, right? The understanding of the difference between love and attachment. And I know we're in this era, this generation of, the attachment styles, etc. And I think there's such power to it. And I think there is beauty in these concepts. And I'm glad that they're coming to surface. However, I do think we take them too far sometimes. Like, even with love languages, I think that we serve ourselves more when we realize what our love language is and then use that as a means of dissecting why that's our love language, right? Carrie Nicole, shout out to Carrie Nicole. Make sure to check out her channel. Brilliant content. Her and I spoke of this concept, and she said, she believes that our love languages are in two part, either the thing that we receive the most as a symbol of love, quote unquote love, as well as the thing that we did not receive and we yearn for, right? Now, I only had half of that. I believe that it was, the thing that we received, and so that's the only thing that we know. But she added this other element, this other dimension, which is, it is two-sided. The thing we receive most and the thing we did not receive may very well become our quote-unquote love language. And so we crave that thing, and we continuously seek it out. And there's no problem in that, right? It's a beautiful thing to have a quote-unquote love language, but when we limit it to one or two things, we actually don't see the totality of what love can bring, what love truly demonstrates. And so for me, I believe that the greatest takeaway, or why this was like the most vital lesson in love for me, is I finally started to make this disconnection between how I felt and what love really was. Because how I felt was rooted in what I was familiar with, what I was used to, what I was comfortable with. Before I embarked in this inner healing journey, before I started getting back to a space of wholeness, right? Before I started looking at those wounds and addressing them, I simply felt connection based off of my traumatic experiences or those belief systems that were broken, flawed, and warped belief systems. That's where I got my emotional impulses. That's what I was attracted to. I was literally attracted to the very thing that I desired least. But I couldn't comprehend that because I just saw it as this is my attraction. It should be true. It should be real, right? I was believing the narratives and the stories in my head. The narrative that love is cold, love is distant. Love keeps things separate. Love is compartmentalized and it's not holistic. These were the beliefs that I carried. And so the relationship dynamics I had, they played that script out. They played that role out to perfection. And so this is going to be a short message, but I believe that it can be a powerful one for anybody who takes this home, or as I say, takes it to the bank with them, right? Is just to start looking at our lives from a perspective of like, why do I believe I'm actually in love? Why do I believe I'm connected or bonded to this person? Is this truly a bond based in I desire the highest for you and the highest for me? Or is this a bond that is based on the basis of you are familiar, right? I can recognize what you are and you feel not necessarily safe, but you feel like a place that I know what to do with, right? Some people, they know what to do in an abusive situation. They don't know what to do when they are being taken care of or being nurtured or being embraced, right? You know what to do in an unsupportive environment. You don't know what to do in that space where you are now being supported and loved and poured into. So that's that for right now. For the time being, make sure to get yourself a copy of my newest book, Doing Me Guilt-Free. My first published book. This is my baby, like my baby, my firstborn. Doing Me Guilt-Free. Make sure to get yourself a copy of one of these. This is breaking free from people pleasing and unleashing your true personal power. You can get yourself a copy by clicking the link in the description below, as well as pinned to the comment section. Till next time, peace.